RPM set to 2,000 seconds. And back to 2,000. ATIS. Yep, so we get that, so it's on. There's a bit of a breeze, the old propeller.
Yeah, good, eh? Good on a hot day. So what we're going to do is I'm just moving forward, so I'll take over for now.
Yep.
So I'm going to get the weather up.
Roger, Ralph, departures north, frequency 123.6. Runway 28 left, and Ralph departures south, frequency 118.1. Circuit operations, runway 28 right, helicopter area alpha active, wind 250 degrees 8 knots, cab OK. Temperature 19er, UNH 1023. First contact with Dutch ground or tower, notify receipt of echo.
So he's given us echo, it's the weather. Basically not a lot of wind.
Field, tell me information echo, runway 28 right, and Ralph departures north,
28 right.
123.6. Runway 28 left, and Ralph departures south, frequency 118.6.
28 left, 118.1.
Runway 28 right, helicopter area alpha active, wind 250 degrees 8 knots, cab OK. Temperature 19er, UNH 1023. First contact with Dutch ground or tower, notify receipt of echo.
So he's given us echo.
So what's the giving us echo?
Echo is the version of the weather, so it's Alpha, Bravo. Every time something changes, they just update by one letter.
Okay.
So we're on echo, so I'll give him a call now. Archie Ground, good morning. Sling 8592 on the Southern Apron dual for a southern departure with echo. Request taxi.
Sling 8592 Archie Ground, take landing point Alpha 1, runway 28 left, climb 09.
Landing point Alpha 1, 428 left, Sling 8592. Righto, so you drivers there. You drove last time with your feet, yep?
Yep.
Yep, so you drivers there. So there's your throttle, there's your brake. And you're going to drive around the corner here. And then we're going to keep an eye on the coolant temperature as we go, because it's starting to get a bit warm already. And around you go. That's it.
Whoops.
And then you're going to turn left up here. A little bit of brake as you get up here. See, I trust you implicitly, I wasn't even watching. And then when we get down towards the grass here, I'll just take over to park. So we're going to park, and we're going to do it nose into wind. So just looking at that, I see there's no wind. Look at the flare on this bloke. He's doing an emergency flare. Alright, so see the windsock over here? So just taking over.
Oh yep, handing over.
So windsock is basically straight on our nose. So I'm going to check behind me that there's no one behind me that's going to block me in here. I'm going to stick my nose into wind, which is about here somewhere. And then I'm going to go park brake on. We'll shut the canopy because it's cool enough.
Might just shift me seat forward a little bit.
Yep.
Make it...
If you're, yeah, as long as you don't get out of the cockpit.
Oh, there we go.
How's that? Hang on, just sit forward for me for a second. That's the way. Alright. I'll just shut this canopy over so it's less windy. It's cool enough today. So we're nose into wind.
Coolant low.
That's better.
Oil temperature low. Oil pressure low.
So I've just done the lane checks for us. I'll put on a stage of flap. We're going to check that the controls are full and free and in the correct sense. So I'll look out the back and I'll make sure that it's going up and down where I want it. And if I can't see it, I can certainly feel it. See that? See the nose?
Yep.
That means there's airflow over that
Rear
elevator just the right way I want it, you know what I mean? So I'm checking to see that all that's working fine. checking all that, and then I'm going to check the idle. I've checked that the controls are full, free, correct sense. I've gone one stage of flap, so we're ready to go. I'll turn the landing light on, nav light is on, so we're pretty much ready to go. Happy with that?
Yep.
1023 on this one. There's our VSI we spoke about.
Yep.
Here. So you'll follow me through on the takeoff. So hand on the control column, left hand on the column, and just make sure you don't press the button on the back of it. And
that's the radio button on the back.
yeah, that's correct, yeah. Touchdown, g'day, Sling 8592, ready 28 left for a southern departure.
Sling 8592, touchdown 28 left, clear for takeoff.
Left takeoff, 28 left, 8592. Alright, so we're taking off on 28 left. Any fire or failure on the runway, I'm going to smoothly close the throttle and apply the brakes. Any fire or failure, no runway remaining, we're going to land within 30 degrees of the nose. Happy with that?
Yep.
I have control of the aircraft. Right, so we just go full throttle. Now I want to check that airspeed is alive and increasing. That's the only time I can check that.
Speed, low.
So airspeed's alive and increasing. I've got my hand on throttle. I'm maintaining centerline around 55 knots. I'll just gently raise the nose. Aeroplane flies away. The aeroplane's trying to climb too far. I'm going to trim a little bit here. Bingo. Now always trim, so we're putting I've just got the nose on the horizon. I don't care what's going on here except I'm checking my T's and P's.
Yep.
I'm committing to this flight. Around about 300 feet I'll lift the flap up. Now I don't really care what's going on here as long as these T's and P's are good and my nose is on the horizon. I know I'll be doing 70 knots. So I know that.
Yeah.
So I just do that. 70, 75 knots, you know. If you want to be kind to your engine, you climb out at 75. 500 feet, I look to my right, I look ahead, I look into the turn. Now I can make my turn. Balance turn, little bit of rudder. Now there is another aircraft in the circuit, so we just got to keep an eye out for him, but he's already gone that way. I watched him go before.
So what's the red on my this one here?
That's showing the exhaust gas temperature. Yeah, I looked at that before. That's the exhaust gas temperature is obviously blocked out, so it's not even working. Or it's got a sensor failure because it was red when we started and it definitely wasn't hot when we started, you know?
Yep.
So 1,000 feet, I'm going to level out. There's my 1,000 feet. Let the airplane build up speed. Airplane sort of gets up to the speed I want. See, I've got 5,000 odd revs here. I'm going to pull that back a little bit.
And the Charlie Yankee request early frequency change once available. Charlie Yankee, that's first.
And see, there's that 5,000 RPM. Now I've got nose up at the moment, so I'm just going to trim it nose down. And now that I've done that, I can see I've got some power issues there, so I'll just sort that out, bring that power back up. I've climbed too far, so we're just going to make sure that we're in. We don't have to descend a lot, but we make sure, because remember that 500 feet. See that white stick out there?
Yep.
That's Park Ridge Water Tower. So anybody coming in here right now is going to come in over the top of us. So I've done this on purpose. I've come slightly too far to the left because I want to leave from basically midfield.
Yep.
But I've got an issue with my compass here. So I'm not tracking at 135 like I said I would. So I'll bring it to 135. Now I can see I've got throttle. I can hear. So I'm looking at traffic out here. I can hear I've got throttle issues again. So I'll bring the power back a little bit. I'll trim for nose down again. Now everything's starting to settle out. So pretty much most of what I did there didn't look at any of this. I can hear it, I can tell, I can feel it. Once you get to know your aircraft, you can sort of feel it. There's no need to use this thing, there's no need to try and choke it to death. This aeroplane will fly with 2 fingers. So it's just a matter of relax, get comfortable with the aircraft. And we're going to make sure that the wingtips are the same distance below the horizon. And that the tail, where's a ball? There's a ball there, that the tail is following the nose. And that's all we really care about. We're tracking a little bit better now for our 135. I'm just going to bring it out a little bit wider now. I did that on purpose because over there is our inbound point. Park Ridge is our outbound point, and I really want to track right through the guts. So the 135 is important, but we've got to make sure that we treat it, because if we had to come off the other end of the runway, we'd be further this way.
Yep.
So I would have tracked probably 140, 145 to come south a bit, and then track out. You're looking at that sort of lumps in the hill over there, and across the top of this, this set of sheds, or if you want, see the Logan motorway here?
Yep.
Where the Logan motorway joins to the other, whatever it's called, motorway. That's about where we're looking at. So we're looking at those as a crossing point.
So on the compass, it's 1512. There's a 0 on the end of that, is there?
Yeah, so there's 120.
Yep.
And then that one over there will be, so I'll just come around a bit further. So there we're on about 130 now, there's 135 now. 135 degrees. And you can get that off, you see the magnetic heading down here?
Yep.
133, so, you know, we're pretty close to 135, I said I wanted to be. And then there's the outbound point, there's Park Ridge. So I know now that anyone coming in, particularly given that I know that they're going to land on 28, they would come in at this angle towards us.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be climbing before here. So I'm at this point, I know now that anybody coming in will be at 1500 but will be passing behind me.
Yep.
So now I can smoothly apply throttle, put the nose back to the horizon, none of this matters. My nose is on the horizon, that's all I care about. Nose on the horizon, I let it settle, hold that, and it's a bit bumpy, but I hold that as much as I can, and then I look and I go, there you go, that's about 85 knots, that's about what I want. I'm getting 500 feet a minute, I'm getting about 85 knots because this is a cruise climb. We want to be kind to our engine, and we're gaining distance, because distance is our friend at the moment. We're gaining distance over height gain.
Yep.
Right, mistake I made a mistake back there with one of the things I should have done. Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay, I didn't change that fuel over.
Yeah.
We know we had plenty of fuel in both tanks, we know that. So I'm not going to change the fuel here and now. So if you make a mistake and you spot your own error, don't try and hide it. Own up to it and go, oh shit, I didn't change the tanks over. Because then you work through, as a pilot, you work through how am I going to fix that. So I know we've got plenty of fuel. I know we could do the whole flight on this tank, so I can leave it on this tank. But as a prudent pilot, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to change this tank until I'm somewhere where I'm happy to crash.
Right.
So I wouldn't change it here. I'm not happy to crash here, because anything you change can cause you an issue. So I don't want to change it at this point. So I'll wait till we're out over Heck Field. There's another flying field out here.
Yep.
I'll change it at that field. Or if I wanted to, there's another little field over here. It's disused. It's a disused field, but it's a field you could use. I'd change it over there. Righto. At this point, your aircraft. So I just want you to point towards there, nose in the horizon. And because it's bumpy, we're going to climb to about, say, 3,000 feet. Yeah, so the key with becoming a pilot is, remember I said to you before, there are plenty of things that an airplane can kill you with. They'll try to kill you, and I'm not trying to put you off.
Yep.
But if you get things wrong, you know, you can cause yourself some issues. If not getting killed, you'll at least cause yourself some major issues, because we can land in any of those paddocks now, there's no issue there at all. So I'll get you to level off 2.5, just drop your nose and have a look for any traffic. Can you see any traffic? No, so we're doing a scan. Righto, back in your climbing. And so about every 500 feet, just drop your nose and check for traffic. So yeah, I've identified that fuel was an issue for me, and that I didn't change that over. So the thing is you decide where you're going to fix that. You go, righto, well, we're going to return to field, do a circuit, change in the circuit, or we'll change over one of these paddocks, or we can go as far as down there, there's another field, we'll change there. You know, make an informed decision about what you're going to do to fix the issue you've caused yourself, which I caused. And you're 3,000 feet, you're going to level off for me?
You're referring to like an airfield, not just a field.
Oh, and an airfield, yes, there's an airfield down here, correct. So we're going to level off at 3,000 feet with 5,000 RPM, and you're just going to do that, and I'm going to look at stuff. So remember, let your speed build, And you can trim to help, but trim generally comes at the end of that sequence, so you get that attitude right. Let's get the attitude set. Airspeed's well and truly up now, so you can be reducing power to 5,200. We've got a over 5,400 limit of 5 minutes, so we can climb at full power for 5 minutes or fly for 5 minutes, but after that you've got to bring it back. So remember, you're trimming at the moment, but you've still got miles too much power on.
Yeah.
So that's going to change. Trim will change. So get your power and attitude set first. Let it settle into that. Hold against the trim unless it's uncomfortable, and then re-trim. So let's get that power organised. So keep it coming back, keep your power coming back because you're still miles too high.
Am I 5,000 there? 5,200?
5,000 you want?
Oh, sorry.
Yep. There you go, so we'll get that squared away at 5,000 and then we'll hold the attitude. So remember, it's attitude, attitude, attitude. We're going to hold that, so we're doing attitude, performance, attitude, look out, we're scanning the skies. A little bit bumpy, but still a cracker of a day, isn't it? And you're just going to you're going to go out here past this sort of bit of a mountain over here. You're going to start a left-hand turn for me sort of shortly. And we're going to head out. See that smoke over there? See the water and the smoke? We're going to head for that. Now this lesson seems like quite a boring one, but this is basically just you practicing your straight and level, where I really just sit here and keep my mouth shut and let you go.
I'll start turning?
Yeah, start turning, head out towards that smoke over there. Now what we're looking for here, they would be lower than us, should be lower than us, but we just tracked out on 135, so you can head straight across there. Anybody coming into Archerfield from the Gold Coast would generally be on that side of the motorway and out here somewhere at our 2 o'clock.
Right.
So our attitude, performance, attitude, look at, yeah.
Right,
Yep, so there's a little fella and a big fella, so there's a big one above, here's a little fella doing exactly what I just said. He's coming into Archerfield.
Good day, Simon, Papa X-ray, Alpha is a beam of TV, towers maintaining 1,500. In receipt of Foxtrot, inbound for a touch and go, then southern departure.
I just changed to Brisbane frequency, it might be a bit.
Papa X-ray Alpha Archer, good day, report crossing Centenary Bridge.
Report crossing Centenary Bridge, Papa X-ray.
Okay, 70, descending 90,000.
Righto, so old mate's definitely out of our road. So there's the perfect example, is he's coming into Archerfield, he's on descent, but he'll get to target at 1,500.
Copy, I was wondering what was going on there. Yeah, we've got golf, we're visual, and yeah, we'll expect left circuit 1 forward to go 70.
Righto.
I've been descending a little bit, so I just want to take back up.
Yep, so any little minor changes you can do without power, but if you're going to do a proper climb, then it's full power every time.
Okay.
So it's up to you if it's just a minor change, but otherwise it's full power, nose on the horizon. And yeah, that's a reasonably major change. So it's nose on the horizon, bring it up.
Alpha Golf Golf, contact Archer Tower 118.1. 118.1, Alpha Golf Golf.
Then get you straight and level again when you're ready. Either climbing nor descending. Now remember I said there was an airstrip out here?
Yep.
If you look over there, see this little canal here? Canal goes around and disappears behind the trees.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
See those sheds there? That's an airstrip. Now I happen to know from experience that we can hit that airstrip from here, so I'm going to change the fuel. When I change the fuel, I keep an eye on fuel pressure, and I don't take my hand off the fuel lever so that I don't lose it. And I keep an eye on the fuel pressure until I'm comfortable that we're feeding from that tank. If we're not feeding from that tank, then I go back to that side. Right, my aircraft for a second. You got that pretty well sorted. So what we're going to do now...
7,000, just got to go Cadet 320, just departing southbound.
Now, I've just pulled the power back a little bit in order not to lose height.
A320 traffic just departing southbound.
I have to change the attitude. So now my aim is to hold this attitude.
609 or approach.
So this is low speed flight. And I want that 70 knots we spoke about, so I'm just going to increase power a little bit.
Foxtrot X-ray control identification services terminated, frequency change approved.
Nose is down, speed is down, a little bit of power.
0130.
So now I'm neither climbing nor descending. I've got 70 knots. I'm starting to pass through 70 knots. So, you know, I'll just let it settle for a little bit. I'll let it just a touch. I'm letting it drop again. It's hard in weather like this. Now I'm going to trim to hold that. So I'm aiming for around about that 70 knots. Trimmed out. I can use my rudder here to fly a little bit if I want.
Join left base 14, Echo 70.
I haven't quite got that trimmed out right, have I? So I'll trim that again. So there's around about 70 knots. We're neither climbing nor descending, not of any significance. It's hard to do, so I'm going to fly along at that for a while, make sure I'm happy. Remember that thing about adverse yaw that Napuna showed you? So see the nose is getting stupid as I turn because I'm using no rudder. So remember, when we turn, we use rudder. And we use rudder to make sure, see I can get the nose to turn on the horizon where I want it, you know what I mean? So we make sure we use rudder. 70 knots, so once we're comfortable and we've got that 70 knot thing, we're going to transition. So I want to neither climb nor descend, we're going to full power now. This is going to be hard to hold against, so I can trim a little bit, but I'm aiming to neither climb nor descend. I'm setting an attitude.
609, contact center 130-44.
So you can see that attitude's having to get lower and lower in the windscreen as we go. And that's a full power, that's as fast as this aeroplane's going to go. So I'm aiming full power. We can't do this for too long because we're too high in the revs.
Yep.
But I'm aiming for neither climb nor descend, full power. Now I'm going to come back to a cruise speed. So I'll bring that power back to around that 5,000. Back to a cruise, neither climb nor descend. And, 5,000 thereabouts. Don't get too hung up on the numbers, get me around that number, but get us straight and level, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then once you're straight and level and you look down and you go, oh, well, I'm actually, that's 10 RPM out, that's not worth worrying about. I'm bang on, I'm happy with that. That's what we're looking for. Righto, your aircraft?
Taking over.
Right, so let's see a bit of slow speed flight. So that's going to be around about a finished power setting of around about 4,200 we spoke about, didn't we? And we're looking for about 70 knots. There's another aircraft heading up the beach up that way. So he's heading up. He should be at 1,000 feet. I don't think he is, but he should be at 1,000. I'll show you that on the chart when we get back. Once we get to the ocean, you can just do a left turn and head up the beach a little bit. We came out here because you'll get better weather out here. Alright, so you've got that bang on. Now while we're here, I'm not even going to show you how to do this because it's pretty self-explanatory. You can do this yourself. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn up the beach a little bit once we get to the water. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put on one stage of flap and fly at 70 knots. Feels like we're going very slow to me.
Request over the okay, 70, yeah, cleared visual approach.
So turn left up the beach, looking for traffic.
Just clear visual approach.
Make sure you don't go into a climb as you do it. Beautiful work.
Sierra Papa India is airborne. Supports passing 1,300.
So this wide arc is where we can deploy flap.
That will repeat.
We can't deploy flap above 85 knots. So we're well and truly inside the wide arc, so I'm happy with that. So what you're going to do now is you're going to put in one stage of flap and maintain 70 knots. I won't demonstrate it because you're doing just fine.
Traffic, OCTA, Sierra Papa.
Neither climbing nor descending.
70, contact tower 120, correction, make that 118 days 47, thanks.
Contact tower 1187, g'day, Jacko 70.
Brisbane traffic, helicopter Hotel Charlie November is approximately 10 miles to the south of Macrobat. We'll be tracking north via the Univat VFR route at 1,000 feet.
No one to bother us, yep. Alright, once you're happy with that, I'll get you to go to 2 stages of flap. Feel the difference? Nose pitches, because remember we got the camber of our wing has just changed. Nose changes, but we're looking for 70 knots there. Now you might use this setting to fly straight and level at 70 knots, so or 65 even, so you can look around at a potential landing area. You know, we're flying at 200 feet above the ground, doing 70 knots, flap down so we get a good view, and we're looking at a potential landing area because something's gone wrong and we want to land.
Yep.
You know, whether it be we need to go to the loo or we sick or whatever it might be, you know. Or you're just not sure of the strip you're going to. Reckon you can go for 3 stages? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we'll give it a whirl, eh?
Give it a whirl. Now remember your speed's important at 3 stages of flap. Beautiful work. Alright, so now you can transition back to 2. We never take full flap off.
Right.
So we're aiming for 70 knots, so you can put a little bit of power on to aim for 70 knots and transition back to 2.
Hey guys, give Victor leaving control area this time. Control identification services terminated, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. Take off, Victor.
G'day again, Sierra Foxtrot X-ray, taxi, diagraph, or parachute drop request, flight level 140, 1723.
Bit hazy out there today.
It is, isn't it?
Alright, transition back to 1. Just as you're ready, we're going to transition back to normal flight.
4, decimal 7.
1247, Sierra Papa India.
Sierra Foxtrot X-ray, remain the same code, no observed traffic.
And now you can go back to 5,000 RPM. Don't let it get above the wide arc, and then you take your stage of flap off.
Go 72 with me, if not 1187, please.
Beautiful. Now normally in transitioning off flap,
Yep.
we're doing this in straight and level to practice straight and level. Normally transitioning off flap is while we're climbing.
Right.
You know, and you're climbing away, you've missed approached and you're going around. So you go full power, positive rate of climb, you need a positive rate of climb, then you start to take flap off, maintaining a positive rate of climb or at least straight and level.
Okay.
But for us, we were just doing straight and level. So you can turn left and start heading back across towards the land there.
Brisbane Centre, g'day, Diamond, Papa X-ray Alpha, just departed Archerfield, 3 miles south, maintaining 1000, request code.
Just keep that turn coming, keep coming around. Or actually turn right for me.
X-ray Alpha at the Archfield Gold
Looking for
Coast,
traffic.
score 1626.
1626, Papa X-ray Alpha.
And then along the beach again. That feels like a nice balanced turn too. Oh, I just sort of saw a whale. I was going to show you a whale while we're out here. No, maybe not. All right, we'll head back in. Oh, there's a whale right in front of us. Look at it.
Where are you looking?
See down on the water down there.
Where you next, Max? Where you next, Max?
See at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, there's a bit of white water there.
Just down here?
Yep.
123.5.
So go back to normal flight. Go back to 5,000 RPM, straight and level. Oh, there's another aeroplane beneath us.
Foxtrot X-ray approach. Track to Forks. On to flight level 120. Just confirm that's final request or for hire.
Yeah, see the white water over there?
Yep.
That's a whale.
Request flight level 140,
Foxtrot X-ray, Roger, you can expect that shortly.
Might even be 2 whales.
X-ray Alpha identified about 6 miles to the southeast of Arch, verify level.
Maintaining 1000, Papa X-ray Alpha.
X-ray Alpha, Roger, and you for a full stop at the Gold Coast?
FM, Papa X-ray Alpha.
X-ray Alpha, Roger.
Brisbane traffic, helicopter Hotel China. Remember, it's approximately 2 miles to the south of the Univat VFR road at 1,000 feet, tracking north through the Univat VFR road. Brisbane traffic.
They're only... Is it whales? Yeah, it is whales. See them down there?
I can't see him.
Papa X-ray Alpha request...
Just drop your nose a little bit.
X-ray Alpha,
See that other aeroplane?
that'll be outside control area.
Oh,
until
yeah, you can see
approach
him there,
the
yeah.
zone. So, no observation.
Yeah, you're not going to get a great view unless we fly up there a bit further. But
3,500, you can call me on 123.5. That'll be the transfer to approach, please.
Copy, no traffic on climb to 3,500 and we'll contact you 123.5 for clearance. Papa X-ray Alpha.
that's a mother and a calf, I'd say. There's two there.
Where do they actually have males do the traverse as well?
Yeah,
So the whole family do it?
yeah, they're pretty much it. But I think the males do it separately. Yeah, they're not really coming up much. They're just basically just sitting on the surface just. Alright, so we'll do a left turn. We should get back to the lesson. Do a left turn, start heading back in. And then you're going to go full power in the turn, and you're going to do straight and level flight.
Full power now.
Yeah.
860 on the set, flight 130, 6 hotel.
And then you're going to level out
60 approach.
basically back at that green paddock over there.
14 approach.
And we're looking for another aeroplane. There was another aeroplane out here. Righto, so do a straight and level for me at flat out speed. And make sure you trim it and tell me when you're trimmed and you're happy and you can fly hands off.
Happy.
That's pretty close, eh? And if you wanted to, you could fly with your feet there. See, it's... Alright, so bring it back to normal cruise.
Running direction.
And then straight and level trim for me until you can go hands off. So bring it back to 5,000 now. Or what you can do is you bring it back to say 5.1, and as the aeroplane slows up, the prop will load up and bring it back to 5,000 basically.
Kilo code 1771.
You're happy?
Pretty happy with that?
Righto, so my aircraft for a second, so unfortunately we've just got some bumps up here. I'm going to slow it up a little bit.
Kilo transmission's broken, code 1.
Let's call that straight and level. That's pretty close to straight and level, isn't it? So remember that bit about being upset by a gust of wind or whatever?
Yep.
Now watch. I'll just keep it level with my feet. See we're descending?
Yep. The drop zone on departure, please.
So I'm just trying to keep it level with my feet. See now we're climbing again?
Yep.
Yeah, X-ray.
So that's the oscillating effect we were talking about.
Foxtrot, X-ray.
And it'll run out of puff here and it'll start to descend again. So maybe my trim's not quite right for this speed, so I can just trim a little bit. But the oscillating effect, it'll sort itself out. It will not, however. So we'll just continue turning here until we spiral dive and get killed and all sorts of bad things, which we don't want. So, you know, the stability in that plane isn't as good, but in this plane it is.
Yep.
So, and you know, we just got a bit of descent there because I'd slowed up and hadn't completely slowed up, but there's sort of straight and level again, and we'll pitch it down this time. Oh, there you go, I'll pitch it down, and then we'll let it go. I'll have to keep that lateral stability this way. Nose is going to pitch up. Aeroplane runs out of puff. Aeroplane pitches down. Now I've got to use a little bit of rudder here because of the different speeds. An aeroplane will only fly straight at one speed, and you need to put input rudder in. So when you're climbing, you're putting in a bit of right rudder. When you're descending, it's a little bit of left. If you're going faster than your normal descent speed.
Yep.
Aeroplane pitches up again. Runs out of puff. Now if you and I were patient men, we could sit here and eventually this would stop happening. You'll find this oscillation will be less than the last one. This climb will be less than that one before. So see that oscillation starting to come out?
Yep.
So that's that tail downforce working to help us. In case we're Gumby pilots and we let go, do whatever, it's helping to help us, you know, help us to stay level. Your aircraft again?
Taking over.
All right. Let's follow the river back in. We'll head back in. And you're just going to practice your straight and level at various speeds, and on the way in you're going to go back to, so do you understand the transition speed here?
Now maintain best speed of the field.
So when we come in for a landing, go to 5,200 straight level for me. So bring your power up, go to 5.2 so we get a good bit of speed. So right now we're in the green arc. Inside this green arc,
yep,
the aeroplane will stall clean around here somewhere.
Okay.
That's where the aeroplane will stall clean. If we put flap on, it will stall dirty, flap down, at around about there. This is the green arc, is where we can fly comfortably.
Yep.
Yellow arc only in smooth air conditions, so you wouldn't go into the yellow arc today. It's not bumpy today, but you know, you wouldn't really go there today, making sure we're still looking for traffic.
Brisbane traffic, KZG is also Mount Cootha. We're at 1,000.
Green arc, we can fly in any time we like.
Also.
White arc is where we can deploy flaps, so that's the top end of the range of where we can deploy flap. So when we come into land, it's going to happen something like, we'll be flying along. Now what you're going to do is you're going to reduce power to 4,200 for me, maintain straight and level.
X-ray Alpha to the Gold Coast, tracking direct 3,500, QNH of 1022.
Maintain straight and level.
Gold Coast maintain 3,500 and we're in receipt of hotel departure Alpha.
X-ray Alpha.
Now we're in the white arc, so you can now put in a stage of flap. So whack a stage of flap in for me. Maintain height.
4,000, call it 860.
Sierra Foxtrot X-ray, resume navigation, track for the run-in, standby higher.
Righto, now we're getting on to 70. Another stage of flap, and I want you to drop the nose and maintain 70. We're moving into the next lesson now, but drop the nose, maintain 70. And around that power setting's fine.
Alpha Kilo identified, re-verify the level, remain clear, class Charlie and standby, please.
So what you're getting here is a rate of descent. So what you're doing is you're setting us up for an approach to land. There's another airplane around at 3,500 somewhere. We are setting up to land. This is basically a landing setting. So now 70 knots is final approach. I'm not descending enough here. So pull the power back a bit more and maintain 70 knots. So what you're doing is you're adjusting your rate of descent with power.
Yep.
Your attitude, we're holding this same attitude, but you're adjusting your rate of descent. So that's not quite enough because, you know, this is my imaginary runway's over here.
Yep.
Pull the power back a little bit more, maintain 70 knots. Attitude stays the same. About a third of the way up the windscreen is the runway that I'm looking at, my pretend runway. I'm going to show you this when we get back. Now we've got a good rate of descent, about 500 feet a minute.
1,300 once established, cleared on X-ray runway 14.
That's about bang on, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just trying to maintain that.
Yes.
70 knots.
And that's the aim. When we get back, that's what I'll be trying to do when we land, if I can do a reasonable landing. I haven't done landing one of these for months.
What?
No, I haven't. Seriously. I've flown the little jabs, but I haven't been to one of these for ages. Alright, but an aeroplane's an aeroplane, always remember that. They're just aeroplanes, you know. Alright, so let's go back to straight and level at this flap setting. You'll need a bit of power, hold that 70 knots, do a right hand turn for me, just a gentle one. Maintain 70 knots, we're really slow at the moment, I can feel it.
It's that 967 approach bay, runway 14, except down at whiskey.
And then track up the river. And then once you're happy with that, transition back to straight and level flight.
That's Alpha Kilo, just confirm contact approach 1.
Really what you would do is we're just practicing straight and level here. This part of what we're doing is simulating you flying along looking at a field.
Yep.
And you go, yeah, I'm happy to land on that. I'm going to fly around, come back, have another pass, fly around, come back, have a lower pass. I'm checking the field. So to actually fly away from this situation that you and I would do now, you would go full power into a climb, one stage of flap off, maintain climb, second stage of flap off, but we're just going to transition straight.
You'll have a diamond 45
so,
in...
a little bit more power, let's get the speed, let's start out, get back up to 90 knots, so you're going to go full power again.
You can contact the Gold Coast.
Maintain straight and level, take a stage of flap off, because you've got a bit of height, you're gaining height, that's good. Maintain that bit of height.
From...
Righto, another stage of flap off.
Track direct to Batman.
And don't let it get below 70 knots, because remember we're climbing away. And you should be at full power for that. That's it, beautiful. Right, I just transitioned back to straight and level flight for me.
X-ray Alpha, this is 737, Qantas 737, just left downwind. You'll be joining final Talabudra Creek or Currumbin Creek side by the left base. You can expect to sight that aircraft.
Copy for fire chopper.
Perfect. Alright, so you've got a river beneath you. River goes across there and crosses under this bridge. See it over there? On the motorway?
Yep.
Yep, so let's start a gentle descent. Let's get our power back to 5,000. Well, let's go to 4.8. We'll start a gentle descent.
X-ray Alpha, turn right heading 160 visual, please. Back to separation.
So see our Logan River beneath us?
Yep.
Logan River comes along, it goes under there, this one goes under there. So these two rivers go under the bridge. So if you're coming in from the east,
Pilot approach identified, climb 2, flight level 1.
you come along here, you follow the river till you see the road. Once you see the road, you turn right. He's very loud, isn't he? Once you see the road, you turn right. Keep the road on your left. Mount Cotton is on your right. Remember we tracked out, see Park Ridge over there? That little white stick out in the background?
Yep.
That's Park Ridge. We tracked out at 135 degrees, so we tracked out in the middle of between here and Park Ridge, so we were over there, weren't we? And then we turned around this mountain and came out. So we're going to track back in with this motorway on our left, and we're going to track up till we hit target. We're also going to descend on the way through until we get to 1,500 feet. So you can do just like say a 300 foot rate of descent at around 95 knots. So you set that up for me. So now this is a climbing and descending lesson. Remember, we're attitude, performance, attitude lookout. So you set an attitude for that descent, which will be, you know, just slightly below halfway down the windscreen.
X-ray Alpha, turn left, heading of 060.
Beautiful. Righto, so we're looking for traffic. The wings are the same level beneath the horizon on both sides. Tail is following the nose. All is good. We've got slightly less than half attitude because we're doing a slight descent here. See Park Ridge is more pronounced there, Neil?
Yep. Tracking red clear. Brisbane traffic.
And then we're just going to maintain this motorway on the left. You know you've got it right when you see the big crossover here. So you know you've got that right. You're just going to maintain that on your left.
9 miles to the right at 12 o'clock report. You've got that traffic in sight.
I know you started, we're looking for traffic, Park Chopper.
Park Chopper, under.
Beautiful. We'll just continue a gentle descent here. And then you can turn slightly to your right because you're just going to maintain the motorway on your left-hand side. Because remember the other dudes, can you see Archfield in the distance over there?
Traffic 7 miles to the right.
That light bit with the buildings in the against the back of the mountain there, just forward of the mountain, that's Archfield.
Right.
So the other guys are tracking through here at 135 degrees magnetic, so they're tracking through over here somewhere. So this is how we keep separated from them.
Separation of 737.
We're looking for traffic coming in from this side, because people do, look, see, this dick is in the wrong spot.
Yep.
Now he shouldn't be here. He's coming out of target, so I shouldn't have called him that. But he's in the wrong spot. So we're coming in, he's coming out, we're going to run into each other head on. He's meant to go out on the left-hand side of target. So you've got to watch out for people like that.
Yeah, he was on the same level as us as well.
Exactly. Yeah, so he's hit out here. And I don't know where he's come from because he's either come straight across from here or he's come across there. But that's target. That's our inbound point. And we've got that for a reason so that we don't run into each other.
All right, I'm at 1500.
Yep, so maintain that. So go to 5,000 RPM again. Or just slightly less because it's a bit bumpy. Just slightly less, 4.9 or something, you know. We'll just make sure old mate's not coming back, doing something stupid.
X-ray, you can turn right to follow, please. Maintain 2,000.
Hey, look, he could just be a student that's a bit confused, or he's come in here and realised that he hasn't done. So what I need to do to get in here now is I need to get the weather. So he might have got in here and gone, oh my God, I never got the weather, and he's panicked and turned around. So I shouldn't be so harsh.
Runway 28 right, arrival to departures north, frequency 123.6. Runway 28 left, arrival to departures south, frequency 118.1. Circuit training, runway 28 right. Wind 290 degrees, 7 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometres.
Maintain that 1500.
Temperature 21, QNH 1023. First contact with Archfield Grand or Tower, notify receipt of Foxtrot.
So information is Foxtrot now. Now see IKEA?
Archfield, information.
So we keep IKEA on our left. Once we see IKEA,
frequency 123.
we're looking for 2 mid-rise buildings. They're about 10 stories.
Oh yeah, see him?
Yep. We're going to pass directly over the top of those at 1,500 feet.
Visibility greater than 10 kilometres. Cloud few 3,000. Temperature 21, QNH 1023. First contact with Archfield Grand or Tower, notify receipt of Foxtrot.
Right, so information's Foxtrot. Other things I'm doing there is I'm changing over to the frequency for Tower, back to Tower. So we're on Archerfield again now, and change back to 3,000 squawk code. Do you know about those?
Yeah, so you only
Just a bit more power, mate. Go to 4.9.
You only speak to the ground when you're actually on the ground.
Correct, yep. So he said arrivals and departures south. We are south of centreline. So we have to report on the southern arrival. So once we get to target, have you seen the target on the roof here?
Yeah.
Yep. So once we get to target, we know we're in the right spot. So once you get to target, even if you can't see Archfield because it's hazy, you know that if you're tracking directly along here, you're basically pointing at the city because we're sort of converging a little bit. So you can see the city, you can see Mount Gravatt. So if you turn 30 degrees to your left, once you get to target directly over the top, you cannot help but run into Archerfield. I'll just give them a call. Touchdown, g'day, Sling 8592 is at target 1,500 with Foxtrot, and any chance of just one circuit on arrival?
Sling 8592, I'd say g'day, join file chain, runway 2 left, make up left circuits, and report 2 miles, nothing seen from the altitude, so can you squawk altitude on your transponder?
AFM will recycle.
And confirm join file, runway 2 left.
Joint final for 28 left, 8592. Righto, so just you can see Archerfield now. Maintain 1,500. We're going to report 2 miles. And we'll just do one touch and go just because we can. And I probably need to remember how to land an aeroplane, I suppose. So. Alright, so you can see your 2 runways now.
Yep.
So we're aiming basically directly at the left-hand runway.
So we're maintaining straight and level here. At what point do you start your descent from 1500?
So legally we can't start descending until we're within 3 miles of it.
Right.
Which is about Mains Road. I'll show you Mains Road in a minute. Just come to your right a little bit so we're lined directly up on the end of the runway. So here we'll say join final, which means I've got permission to descend once I'm within the boundary. Or he'll say join final, 28 left, maintain 1,500, report 2 mile. And he's told me to report 2 miles. So basically he just can't see me. Yep. So he just wants to know where I am. So he wants to know when I get to 2 miles. Just come to your right a little bit more, so we're dead straight with the runway. And then once we get to where we're going to descend from, you're going to pull the power back to, say, 4,000, 4,200.
Yep.
Maintain height till we get in the wide arc and pull on a stage of flap. Righto, you see our left-hand runway?
Yep.
So see it's pointing that way to us?
Yep.
We want it to be dead straight in the windscreen, so let's get it nice and square. Get all that squared away, the rest will look after itself.
Oh, that's how you line up, is it?
Yep. You want that dead square. And it's runway 28, so you want to be tracking 280. Well, we're tracking about 30, so we need to put it, you know. Righto, so this is nearly 3 mile. This road underneath this is Mains Road.
Right.
That's about 3 mile. I only know that because I googled it. So what we're going to do now, we're maintaining 1,500. We're going to pull the power back to 4.2 and hold height. So just now see your runways in the middle.
Yep.
Keep that in the middle. Just hold your height. Don't gain height. Just hold it.
Good morning, 4844.
A little bit to your left.
Bravo 1, free center departure. Fox 4844, Roger, take it.
Back to 38 for me. And maintain height. Keep the power coming back, otherwise we'll be way too high. Righto, whack a stage of flap in, we're inside the zone. Start a descent at about that 80, not 75. Whack another stage of flap in, we're really high. And then pull that power back a bit more, fair bit more. And then don't let that speed build up, so we're looking for 75. So let's get 75 on the dial. There we go. Hold that power off. And then just maintain 70 all the way down there. Come to your right a little bit to get that square in the windscreen. And at some point you're going to go, well, we're low enough that we're going to add a bit of power, but we'll get to that. Let's get our nose up a bit. We're going to go way too fast. Way too fast. Get your nose up. 8592 is 2 mile final, 428 left. Power on a bit.
8592, runway 28 left, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, 28 left, 8592. Nose up a touch, 70 knots, mate. So hold your nose up to get that 70.
Kilo Zulu Golf, TV towers,
A little bit to your left, a little bit to your left.
With information
Looking for traffic out here. So now you can bring the power off, maintain that attitude though. So pull the power off a little bit, come to your left a little touch. There you go, that's looking good, isn't it?
Yep.
That's about a third of up the windscreen. So you're just going to maintain power to hold 70, maintain that attitude. Feels like we could be a bit low now, so it's just a touch of power. Oh, that's looking great. I'm going to let you do it. Righto, carry on. Aim for that runway. You want that about a third of the way up the windscreen. You're looking for 70 knots, so you're a bit fast. So you're going to bring your nose up, power down if you have to, but nose up will do it. Little bit of power. Nose up a touch because we're a bit fast. That's it. Hold that attitude. Hold that. Power off a touch. Hold that attitude though. Hold the attitude. Righto. My aircraft. Beautiful, mate. You're going well. Oh, sorry. I should have told you to trim. You needed a bit of trim there. So then you're just holding this attitude as you're coming in. That's what you're looking for.
Traffic wind currently 350 degrees, 8 knots, crosswind 8 knots on the right.
Now I'm just trying to fly. I want the airplane to fly forever. As far as I can, along the runway.
Ready 28 left, southern departure.
Sling 8489, Archer target 8, line up, runway 28 left.
Line up 28 left, sling 8489.
There you go. That was a touch and go. Mate, you flew that just about all the way in. I couldn't let you fly all the way in because the CFI's sitting there, or the owner's sitting right there, Dave's sitting there.
Yep.
So now remember, I'm nosing the horizon.
Kilo Zulu
I'm nosing the horizon, that's all I'm doing. Once I get to 300 feet, so I'm back to stage 1 for takeoff, that's takeoff flap. I'm back to stage 1.
Circuit, wind check 340 degrees, 8 knots.
Flaps up.
Wind of 10 knots.
500 feet, I'm going to start my turn. So I'm going to look to the right because I'm doing a left turn. I'm going to look ahead and I'm going to look into the turn. 500 feet, I can start the turn. Use a bit of rudder, you're balancing as you turn. We're skipping ahead a little bit so you can sort of get a look at a circuit.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you could have a crack at that. So what I'm doing now is I'm essentially keeping an eye out for Dave. Dave's going to come out behind us to the right.
172. Inbound to target 1,500, Ruth Fox.
So I'm going to check my brakes, undercarriage mixture, fuel is on the correct tank, fuel pumps are on, fuel is full, instruments are good, switches are where I want them, hatches and harnesses. Hatches good, harnesses are good. I'm keeping
Copy, changes to golf.
that runway just sort of a third of the way, quarter of the way down my wingtip.
And we'll report a 3 mile final. And request circuits on arrival if possible.
Tango Kilo Juliet, Roger, expect your circuits.
Tango Kilo Juliet.
Swing 8592, late downwind, 28 left for a full stop.
Sling 8592, did you copy my comments about the wind?
AFM, copy.
Sling 8592, runway 28 left, let her land.
Yeah, man, 28 left, 8592. I got a really doughy headset today, I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyway, righto, so I've passed the end of the runway there, see?
86 to 29, Parkridge Watertown, 1,500 feet.
I've passed the end of the runway, I'll pull the power back to around about the setting that I would do for an approach. Neither gaining nor losing height. I'm into that wide arc, drop it in, 45 degrees. See I'm 45 degrees to the strip?
Yep.
That's about 45 degrees, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Yep, so I'm 45 degrees to the strip. So now I'm looking around that 3.8. So I've got around about 3.8 on my power setting. I'm going to trim, makes my life easy to trim. I'm doing around about 75 knots, I'm tipping.
Crossing of 10 knots on the right, at the moment there's only 4 knots though. Runway 28 right, clear to land.
Remember your...
Clear to land, 28 right, copy the crosswind, Kilo Zulu Golf.
Remember you're doing most of this through field, so I've just pulled the power back a little bit because I'm...
Sling 84, 89 arriving traffic from Parkridge. Another sling is halfway between Parkridge and the motorway.
I've just gone to the second stage of flap. I'll pull power right off here because I've gone in a bit tight. Right, I see the windsock. He warned me about the wind.
Yep.
Can you see the windsock? So we've got a really strong crosswind coming from our right. So, you know, the arrow's pointing towards, you know, where the wind's going. So
are you actually targeting the right of the runway here, or?
I'm targeting the middle, but I've allowed my nose to screw around.
Approximately 3 mile final.
So see,
Tango Kilo Juliet, continue approach, becoming number 1, runway left.